Good afternoon, students. So I just wanted to give a quick video lecture to go over some of the pre-writing for the process analysis paper, to tell you a little bit about some feedback in general that I have for the class, and then also some helpful hints as you now turn to write the final paper, which will be due later this weekend. So again, these are general comments for the whole class, not just for any individual one person. I did make some specific comments, to students if you emailed me, or also if I had some concerns on your pre-write. I made some brief comments. Feel free to email me if you have any additional questions about that. But in general, there were just a couple things I wanted to go over very quickly, things to make sure that you're focusing on for that final paper. The first thing is, of course, MLA format. That's something that I've been mentioning, and I put into a lot of notes and a lot of comments over the papers that you've been working on. We did an MLA paragraph, and there's still that. If you go back to week 1 or 2, there are some resources there about MLA format. That is your Times New Roman font, your double spacing, your headers, your titles, things like that. That is very, very important. That is a big part of the class. When you're in college, there are formats that you have to use to write a paper. You can't just choose to write however you want. And so that's one thing I noticed and have been added to a lot of comments if I noticed that things were out of MLA format. So on your final paper, you will lose substantial points, even if you write a perfect paper. Even if your paper, the thesis statement is great, your ideas are perfect, if it is not in the right format, you will lose points, and that's simply because that is a requirement of the course. And again, go back to those previous weeks and look, and remember, you need to be using course view, because some of those are not assignments, some of those are just documents that are in there. So if you're only using due dates, you're not going to see that material. So you have to use course view on Blackboard in order to see those. So make sure, because I noticed a lot of MLA errors. The other thing that I noticed, I think the biggest hint overall, a lot of people did some, how to prepare food type items, recipes, things like that. That's fine. I mean, you can do that, for your particular paper if you want to. However, make sure, and I put this as comments on some of the papers, when you write the actual essay, it needs to be a thesis-driven paper with organized paragraphs and information about the steps. So it can't read like a menu or like a recipe. So if it's just sort of add sugar, then add milk, then add, that's not going to be a process paper. You're not going to get a very good score on it. Even though I said that on the pre-write, your topic is fine. I've gotten some decent papers over the years of how to make things so that, that is something that is doable. But remember, it is an essay. It is not a recipe or just a list. So make sure also that you go back to, I think, last week or week 4's folder, where there are some examples of some different types of essays that you can look at, some examples to see sort of how people did things. So that's the biggest thing. The two biggest things that I noticed, your MLA formatting, and then also the, making sure that if you did a food or a recipe type thing, that it is still in an organized essay format. Finally, the other thing is just make sure that you're keeping up with the other little stuff. Don't get too far behind. Some of those are only 5 points here, 10 points here, but they do start to add up, so make sure that you're keeping up with that. As well, I think communication has been very good. I think a lot of people have gotten with me anytime they have questions. Again, I'll say this one more time. Make sure you are using email, your KCTCS email. Do not hit messages in Blackboard. I don't always get those. I think this is probably the 4th time I've said that, and it's in the syllabus. There were some people who were sending some messages that weren't getting through to my email, and then they were responding and saying, the professor's never getting back to me. And again, that's why I say you have to use email. So make sure you're using your KCTCS email to get with me. And anytime if you don't hear back from me within a day or two, send it again, and I should be able to get back to you. But make sure that you're communicating in the right way so that I can get the messages there. Otherwise, I think that is about it for now. And so if you have any specific questions, we still have some days left before everything's due. Feel free to get with me. And I'll be opening up the next module's assignments probably Friday of this week. And so you'll have 3 additional weeks of worth of stuff. But again, I don't open up the entire course for the entire semester. So I've gotten some emails saying, hey, I want to work ahead in week 11, I can't, there's nothing in that folder. Well, no, there's not, because everything builds on itself. And so you can't really do the classification essay before you've done all the process analysis stuff, because all of those things sort of build on each other. So just make sure you're kind of keeping up with that. And again, I will usually open up things 3 weeks at a time so that you can work ahead within that module, but you're not going to be able just to move ahead and do, an entire semester's worth of work. So just make sure you're kind of keeping your pacing on that. So anyway, have a great day, and I will talk to you all soon. Thank you.